Hi everyone, Leon here. Welcome back to my channel, the channel that inspires learning. Today, I'm going to share with you a book written by a former FBI hostage negotiator, Chris Voss. He put it across in one of the TED Talks humorously. What do you do when you're armed with tactical empathy from hostage negotiation and FBI and you're leaving them to look for gainful employment? You write a book. And this is the book he's written, Never Split the Difference. And I'm going to share with you some of the learnings from this book I've got. You may say, hang on, what does negotiation have to do in my life? Well, everything. You see, most of our interactions in our daily lives involve some form of negotiations, though it is not as life-threatening as what an FBI does, right? We negotiate because we want to get certain things done, or we want certain things. For example, to get the contract signed, to get a raise in our salary, to get our children to go to sleep, and to get a discount on our favorite items. And if you want to communicate with results, watch on to see why this book is a must-read for all who wants to do negotiation well. The main takeaway I've got from this book is the idea of winning people over rather than winning over them in any negotiation. And that's what Chris calls tactical empathy. And when we talk about empathy, it's not about agreeing with them, but rather taking a deeper understanding of what goes on in their mind, what is their feelings, what is their mindset, and understanding them at a deeper level where we can use that to increase our ability to influence them and win them over to our side. There are a number of practical and useful tactics in the book that we can use to achieve tactical empathy. And I have prepared 6 of my greatest takeaway to share with you. The first one is active listening. Yeah, I know. Some of you may go, what? Another active listening lesson? Yes! And that's how important it is. If you know it, then do it. If you don't do it, what's the point, right? Because why we aren't doing it is most often than not about our favorite subject, which is us. It's all about me, and me. That we forgot that there is another person that we are talking to. And if we show our genuine interest in that person, we will get a more cooperative effort from that person in a negotiation, right? And that is why active listening, when used together with other tactics in the book, is gonna get the person to have a rapport with us, and we can build that sense of trust in that person as well. One way to listen actively is to mirror the person. Now, mirroring is essentially copying what the person does to create a sense of rapport. It could be the tonality of voice, it could be the behavior, it could be the speech pattern, and so on, right? And what it does is it subconsciously tells the other person that you and I are alike. And trust me, these are the few ways that we can use to mirror a person. But in the book, Chris has specifically taught a method that he used to mirror during negotiations, which is to repeat the last 1 to 3 words, all the critical words in a sentence, and then remain silent. The person will, more often than not, fill in the silence with more information, revealing some of his intention and strategy as well. This is very good in keeping him talking, building up rapport, and giving us time to strategize our response. The second one is labeling. Labeling is a way to validate one's emotions and feelings by acknowledging it. It usually can be in sentence or statements. For example, it sounds like, it feels like, it seems like. And take note not to use I in all these statements, because when you use I, it makes the person feel that you are more interested in yourself rather than the person himself. And when you say it in a neutral statement, it encourages the person to be more responsive. And once you're done labeling, keep silent and listen. Of course, you may not be able to label the emotions correctly all the time. That is the beauty of a neutral statement, because you can always say that I didn't say it's true. You can only say that it feels like. The third is summary. Summarize what the information we've gotten and repeat it back to the person. A good summary will consist of these two elements. One is labeling and one is paraphrasing. Okay, so labeling, I've mentioned earlier in the second point. Paraphrasing is just taking the information we've gotten and put it in our own words and repeat it back to the person so that the person will know that we understand him and not just parroting what he says. The objective of the summary is to get the person to a "that's right." When the person says "that's right," it means that they've probably assessed what you have said and agree with you willingly. However, if it leads to a "you're right," then probably it's their way to get you to quit bothering them. There's an example in the book that Chris shared on how getting to a "that's right" has helped one of his students who is working as a medical sales rep to make her sale. Now, this student was promoting one of her new products to a doctor who is using similar medications. And at first, the doctor was very unfriendly and resistant to her pitch and to her approach in promoting her medication, because he felt that the medication is very similar to what he is using currently. Why should he change, right? However, she learned through her conversation with the doctor that the doctor is very passionate in helping his clients, and the well-being of his clients is of utmost priority to him. So in her next visit, she used labeling, paraphrasing, and summary to show her understanding on how passionate this doctor is and how he is looking after the patients so well that he's giving specific treatment for each and every patient he has. And now this doctor looked at her as if it was the first time he saw her, and he said, "That's right." From here on, the doctor started to be more receptive, and eventually Chris students made her sale. So, an important lesson here is constructive behavior is a likelihood when the person feels understood. Not bad for a rhyme. If this video has brought value to you, give me a thumbs up, comment below, or share it with a friend you care about. And remember to hit the subscribe button and turn on your notification bell to be notified of my weekly learnings from books I've read in relationship, business, and personal development. Thank you. Do check out these other books I've reviewed. I hope they will bring more value to you and inspire you to bring out your best potential. Hit the subscribe button and be part of a journey to inspire learning. Beyond here, wishing you well and see you in the next video.